General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out?
Yes or no, Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No? A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F?
it sounds like you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your constituency by
Director,
focusing on reducing violent crime in this country and the number of pedophiles that are illegally harbored in your sanctuary cities in California? I'll work with you on that.
Regular order, Mr. Chairman.
I
belong to the gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The question has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt. Director, did Donald Trump ever say to you, just find and release the entire truth? Don't worry if I'm in it.
The instructions from the administration were to release all credible information.
Every American citizen needs to look closely at what just unfolded on the Senate floor. Look at the photo on your screen and the 60 secret names referenced in these unsealed files. Representative Eric Swalwell pressed FBI Director Kash Patel under oath, demanding to know how many times key names appear in federal records, and the director's answer created an instant crisis in the room.
Audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to borrow your terminology and call bullshit on your entire career in Congress. It has been a disgrace to the American people. You can reclaim your time all you want.
The exchange that follows directly after this moment raises fundamental questions about government transparency. Watch every second of this unedited footage.
Director, the first time you saw Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files. Did you close the files or keep reading?
I have reviewed not the entirety of the files, so I have...
You haven't reviewed all of the Epstein files?
Personally, no.
You're the director of the FBI. This is the largest sex trafficking case the FBI has ever been a part of. Buck stops at the top, and your testimony today is you have not reviewed all the files.
What I've been doing is been busy providing the safest country this country has seen in modern U.S. history in historic speed, because the men and women of the FBI are given the resources to reduce the homicide rate, to reduce the drug trafficking rate, to reduce the amount of children that are being trafficked and the number of pedophiles. It sounds like those children being trafficked would appreciate the director reviewing the files. You said you don't know the number of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right? The number is a total misleading factor. We have not released anyone's name in the Epstein files that has not been credible.
Director, could it at least be 1,000 times?
We have released every piece of legally permissible information.
Okay,
you can characterize the numbers however you want it.
Reclaiming my time, Director. It sounds like if you don't know the number, it could at least be 1,000 times.
It's not. It's not.
Is it at least 500 times?
No.
Is it at least 100 times?
No.
Then what's the number?
I don't know the number, but it's not that.
Do you think it might be your job to know the number?
My job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. My job is not to engage in political innuendo.
Look at the exact contradiction that just unfolded. Director Patel admits he hasn't read all the files, yet insists he knows which numbers are wrong. Ask yourself, how can top officials guarantee transparency if they haven't personally reviewed the evidence? Sound off in the comments below. Swalwell turns up the heat right now. Watch what happens when he asks if the former president was ever informed.
So you can go out to the sticks and get your 20-second hit in your fundraising article. Keep going, reclaiming your time, because the people of California are being underserved by your representation.
If the president is not implicated, why not release everything that involves him?
We have released everything, the president and anyone else's side, that is credible and lawfully be able to be released. Your fixation on this matter and baseless accusations that I'm hiding child pedophiles is disgusting. Anyone that says that needs to look at the stats alone and go back to the state of California, who's receiving the biggest surge in FBI resources through my redeployment, because the cities of Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco need it.
Director, remembering your oath to tell the truth, did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
Did you ever tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
The Attorney General and I have had numerous discussions about the entirety of the Epstein files and the reviews conducted by our team.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files?
And we have released where President Trump's name is in the Attorney's files. It's a simple question. Did you tell the Attorney General that the President's name is in the Epstein files?
Patel just confirmed on the record that the President's name is in the files, meaning it is no longer a question, but a fact. Yet, he repeatedly dodged whether he officially reported this to the Attorney General, creating a major oversight gap. Ask yourself, can federal accountability exist if the FBI director bypasses the Department of Justice's chain of command. Share your thoughts below. Swalwell refuses to let him walk away. Watch carefully as he demands a plain yes or no, and Patel reacts with the alphabet.
During many conversations that the Attorney General and I have had on the matter of Epstein, we have reviewed
The question is
painstakingly
simple.
who
Did you
can
tell
be-
the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or no?
Why don't you try spelling it out?
Yes
if
or
you're gonna mock?
no, Director?
Use the alphabet.
Yes or no?
No? A, B, C,
Director,
D, E, F?
it
Don't
sounds
wanna
like
do
you don't want to tell us. Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name was in the Epstein files?
Why don't you try serving your
Director,
constituency
did
by
you tell the
focusing on
Attorney
reducing
General
violent
that Donald
crime in this
Trump's name-
country and the number of pedophiles that
Director,
are legally
reclaim my
harbored
time,
in your
Director.
sanctuary cities in
Director,
California?
reclaim
I'll
my
work with
time.
you on that. Do
Regular
you wanna
order,
work
Mr.
with us
Chairman.
on that?
Director,
Time
reclaim my
belongs to the
time.
gentleman from California.
Did you tell the Attorney General that Donald Trump's name is in the Epstein files? Yes or
Question
no?
has been asked and answered.
You've not answered it, and we will take your evasiveness as a consciousness of guilt.
Swalwell explicitly invoked the legal concept, consciousness of guilt, after Patel repeatedly refused a simple yes-no question about the Attorney General. Instead of a direct answer, the FBI director responded with taunts about the alphabet. Ask yourself, when a sworn witness uses legal evasion during congressional oversight, does that signal transparency or protection? Sound off in the comments below. The hearing turns even more explosive next. Watch carefully as Swalwell brings up Judge Berman's ruling and demands a recusal.
Of guilt. Director, did Donald Trump ever say to you, just find and release the entire truth? Don't worry if I'm in it.
The instructions from the administration were to release all credible information, and we have done that.
Did Donald Trump ever provide information about Jeffrey Epstein as an informant?
Donald Trump has not been, and I can only speak for the FBI, an informant of the FBI.
So, Director, you've played this cute shell game where you say you can't release everything because the court has said that it legally is not allowed to be released, but the court calls bullshit. Judge Richard Berman said that when you went to the court, quote, information contained in the Epstein grand jury transcripts pales in comparison to Epstein investigation information and materials in the hands of the Department of Justice. So let's move on, Director. You wrote a book called Government Gangsters. You identified 20 individuals in that book. You put me on that list at the top of the list. Thank you. My children find it flattering. 20 of those individuals have been investigated or have had adverse actions. Director, considering that you have identified these people as, quote, government gangsters, will you recuse yourself from making any investigation decisions about these individuals?
Anyone that has been terminated at the FBI has been done so
the
because
question
they failed
again.
to meet the muster in
Director,
their constitutional
I will
obligation.
work on the audio-visual capabilities.
I'm going to
of folks that
borrow
don't
your
even hear me.
terminology and call
I'm
bullshit
reclaiming my
on your
time.
entire career in
I'm
Congress.
reclaiming my
It
time,
has been
Director.
a disgrace to the American
Director, I'm
people.
reclaiming my
You
time.
can
No,
reclaim your
will you
time all
recuse
you
yourself?
want.
Mr.
Chairman, you're going to allow a
Protect
witness
the
to
citizens
speak,
of
Mr.
California.
Chairman? Mr. Chairman, would you
You'll
give...
recuse yourself, Director.
The gentleman has no time.
Mr.
to
Chairman, would you
recuse.
admonish the witness not to insult members?
The gentleman has no time.
Mr. Chairman, just
committee will remember.
Quick point of order. Could the gentleman be extended an additional 20 seconds to complete his thoughts since the witness decided to interrupt him continuously?
And the witness will be able to respond if he wants. We'll make sure
Thank
he has
you.
time to
Okay.
do that.
My question
We'll
is,
continue.
will you, Director, recuse yourself, yes or no, from investigating or making decisions about the 60 individuals, including myself, that you identified as government gangsters? Yes or no?
Time of the gentleman has
Swalwell asked the exact same question on recusal, and Patel gave a flat, one-word answer: no. Under sworn testimony, an FBI director is expected to address conflicts of interest directly. But instead of offering a standard recusal, Patel turned the hearing into a personal clash over congressional careers. That isn't confusion on the floor. That is a deliberate, uncompromising refusal on the official record. Here's the aspect of this hearing that deserves closer examination and carries major implications. Patel wrote Government Gangsters in 2023, before he was confirmed as FBI director. The book named specific individuals and framed them as threats to American government. That is a constitutionally protected right afforded to any private citizen. However, once that individual assumes the role of FBI director, those prior public statements directly impact the perceived objectivity of his decisions. Recusal exists precisely for this reason. It is not an admission of wrongdoing. It is a structural protection designed to preserve the integrity of an investigation by removing a decision maker who has a demonstrated prior opinion about the subject. As a trained attorney, Patel understands these legal frameworks, making his refusal to recuse a conscious decision on the record. What makes it more striking is that 20 of the individuals named in that book have already faced adverse actions since Patel took office. He was in that hearing room knowing that number. Swalwell stated it directly. Patel did not dispute the figure, but instead shifted focus before explicitly refusing to step aside from decisions regarding the remaining names. The timeline is clear, and the precedent is deeply concerning. Now look at what happened when Swalwell invoked Judge Richard Berman's ruling. Judge Berman is a federal judge in the Southern District of New York, the same court that originally prosecuted Epstein. He has handled Epstein-related proceedings since Epstein's death in 2019. His ruling was not opinion or commentary. It was a judicial finding that the Department of Justice holds vastly more Epstein material than what has been handed over or released. That finding, made by a sitting federal judge in a court of law, directly contradicts Patel's repeated claim that everything legally permissible has been released. A claim of full transparency becomes difficult to maintain when a sitting federal judge is officially on record stating the opposite. And Patel's response to being confronted with that ruling was not a rebuttal. He did not challenge the judge's finding. He did not offer new information about what might still be pending. He said he was going to borrow the terminology and turned it into a personal attack on Swalwell's congressional career. In a sworn hearing, substituting a personal insult for a substantive response regarding a judicial ruling undermines the credibility of the testimony. Consider the dynamic that played out between Patel and Chairman Jordan in those final minutes. When Patel began attacking Swalwell's career and calling him a disgrace, Swalwell turned to the chairman and asked him directly to intervene. Jordan's response was to say, "The gentleman has no time," and then to simply move on. There was no admonishment, no instruction to the witness to remain responsive, no defense of the member's basic right to conduct oversight without being publicly insulted. The chairman of the committee, whose constitutional role is to manage the hearing and protect the integrity of the process, chose to let it pass. That is not a small procedural footnote. Congressional oversight of the FBI is one of the foundational accountability mechanisms in American government. The FBI director serves at the pleasure of the president, which means Congress is the only institution positioned to ask hard questions on behalf of the public. When a witness personally attacks a committee member without official intervention, the effectiveness of congressional oversight is diminished on the public record. The specific exchange over the alphabet is particularly revealing. In the middle of being asked a direct yes or no question about whether he informed the Attorney General of something significant, the FBI director responded with a taunt about spelling. Whether that was frustration, deflection, or contempt for the process, it is worth asking what it signals to the thousands of FBI agents watching their director represent the bureau in that room. Institutional culture flows from the top. The tone a director sets in public testimony is the tone agents absorb in private. There is a question that this entire hearing raises and does not answer. If the files contain what Swalwell is suggesting, and if a sitting federal judge has confirmed that the DOJ holds more material than has been released, who exactly is making the decision about what comes out and what stays buried? Patel said the instructions from the administration were to release all credible information. But credible is a word that gives enormous discretion to whoever defines it. A name appearing in those records might be viewed differently by a judicial officer than by an executive official managing public disclosures. The word is doing a great deal of work in that sentence, and no one pressed Patel to define it. This situation creates a complex conflict between public transparency and legal protections. The Epstein files contain names of real people. Some of those people may be guilty of serious crimes. Some may appear in the files for reasons entirely unrelated to any wrongdoing, perhaps as donors to a charity Epstein affiliated himself with, perhaps as acquaintances at a public event, perhaps through associations they had no way of knowing were dangerous. A blanket release of every name without context can destroy an innocent person just as effectively as protecting a guilty one. This presents a complex legal conflict that courts continue to navigate. But the answer to that tension is not a director who hasn't read the files and can't tell Congress how many times the president's name appears. The answer is a rigorous, documented, overseen review process conducted with independence and transparency, where the public can trust that the decisions being made are based on law and evidence and not on proximity to power. Does equal justice still apply at the very top of our government? Let us know your thoughts in the comments. To support our mission at the Politics Report of bringing you raw Senate records, hit the join button to become a channel member, and please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching.